Hey, Shalom, Meshach. I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua, Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honestly brothers in the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. This one is on the news that Trump and his wife Melania have tested positive for the novel coronavirus. Right now, what the gameplay is here, we don't know. We don't know whether it's this guy is gonna get sick and die. We don't know whether he's gonna use this to push back the election. We don't know whether he's gonna come back and be more of a beast and be like, actually, this coronavirus is terrible. We need to lock down now. We don't know whether he's gonna say, shit, give me the vaccine. Oh shit, the vaccine works. We don't know what's gonna happen from this, right? But what we do know is this isn't, the Lord has smitten the kings of these different heathens with plagues before, and I'm going to give you two examples, both also Edomites, right? I'm just going to read this, and like I said, reason why I'm saying we don't know, we go down here to this verse. This is Trump has been trailing behind Biden and has clearly failed to narrow the gap after the first debate. I suspect markets will lean towards the view that Biden will likely win the election. Personally, I think I personally think that Trump is going to win by quite a bit. But either way, it's going to be bloodshed in my personal opinion, especially if it's close. So if it's like a close win, then I think it's definitely because the one side is going to be like, regardless of who wins the election, one side or the other is going to be saying, "Hey, you should, hey, this was a rigged election, this, that, and the other," right? So either way, it's good for the Israelites. Said Senoya Oshikubo, senior economist at Sue, whatever, Trust Assessment Management, says what I'm worried is that he will become even more aggressive against China after he caught the virus himself. Right, so this, hey, we don't know what algorithm the Lord is playing here. Hey, we don't even know if he really has it or if he's just using this as an excuse, right? But the breaking news of the day is the king of Babylon has what do you call it has caught the disease. I'm gonna get two examples as Acts 12 and 21. It says, upon a set day Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a God, and not of a man. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, boom, because he gave not God the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. So, in this particular instance, Herod made himself. He didn't give God the glory, so he got proud, as he would. He's a Edomite. Right? He got proud, and you know what the Most High did? Because what does the scripture say? Pride was not made for men. And then also what's these things that the Most High hate. And then the first one was a proud look. So the Most High doesn't like pride, and in fact he'll reward people for their pride, as Esau will see in these last days. So this is one example. Then also you've got this example in Second Maccabees, the 9th chapter, with Antiochus, right, or Antiochus, however you wish to pronounce his name. So Second Maccabees 9:1 says, and about that time came Antiochus with a dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple, to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons, put them to flight. And so it happened that Antiochus, being put to flight of the inhabitants, returned with shame. It says, now when he came to Ecbatane, news was brought him what had happened unto Nicanor and Timotheus. Then swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee. Therefore commanded he his chariot men to drive without ceasing, and to dispatch the journey, the judgment of God now following him. For he had spoken proudly in this sort, that he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews. So once again, this idea of pride, and once again, this that's just Esau's nature. Let me get Ezekiel the 28th chapter. It's one of my favorite chapters. Right? It says, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up. And the prince of Tyrus represents the Edomites. It says that because thine heart is lifted up, thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, and in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Now, this is a prime man. Who does this describe? Who's going around the world rewriting what was perfect? This devil that's in rulership now. Who's the one going around making men into women, women into men? Saying, breaking down the concept of a family. I'll just have one child. So behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. And that is the truth. The Most High has given these devils certain levels of understanding. But because of this, they have gotten proud. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches. That's it. They've been able to do things. They were able to come up with the understanding, which was the blessing, but the understanding of these hardcore military weapons, namely the atomic bomb, and then a nuclear bomb, and then all of these Tomahawk missiles, and all of that sort of stuff. These stealth fighter jets that have allowed them to become the hammer of the earth, that have allowed them to exercise the power through the earth and take it with violence. And in taking it with violence, what have they been able to do? Take those countries' resources. And once you've got a country's resources, guess what? You're gonna become rich. It says, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. Thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So they're proud because they've got all of this wealth. They've fed the world an illusion that is the best. America's the best place to be, wherever Edomites. So those are the best places to live. But then you go down a couple of miles from their main cities, and what people are living in squalor. Scripture says in Proverbs 29, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth all, the people mourn. So here you see, you watch a movie with London, and you see the House of Parliament, the London Eye. But you go round the corner, you got homeless people all in them streets, man. The people in this world are mourning. It says, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, and the terrible of the nations. They shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. And that's what happens when you're when someone's in that position of getting killed. Hey, all that pride goes out the window, right? And as we're going to see here with Antiochus. But the Lord Almighty, that's 2 Maccabees 9:5. But the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague. Now that word there, invisible plague, got me thinking, because what did Trump call this, right? You go back to earlier on in the year, behind Trump's strange invisible enemy. Trump's invisible enemy is not China, but closer to home. Invisible enemy. Trump says he's wartime president and coronavirus. Right? BBC. President Trump labeled the coronavirus an invisible enemy. Right? And now he's been caught by the invisible enemy. Right now, I'm not saying Trump's gonna die. I ain't saying that. We don't even know whether this guy's got the virus for real, whether this is political game. But I'm just saying, it ain't nothing for the Most High to smite a man with the plague, for his, especially for his pride. It says, for as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of the bowels that was remediless came upon him, and sore torments of the inner parts. And as they say, this corona goes everywhere apparently, right? So then, as in your body effects, it can affect your brain, it can affect your liver, it can affect this, it can affect that. That's the things that they try to push out there. Once again, whether that's true or not, we don't know. It says, and that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments. Howbeit, he nothing at all ceased from his bragging. He was still proud, but still was filled with pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews. They commanded to haste the journey. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pained. And thus he that a little afore and thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea, so proud was beyond the condition of man, and weigh the high mountains or in a balance, was now cast on the ground and carried in a horse litter, showing forth unto all the manifest power of the Most High. Or because it is nothing for the Most High to make a man take a man from his position. It's nothing for the Most High to make a poor man rich, a rich man poor. Because at the end of the day, who gave those individuals the things that they have? The Most High. Man can receive nothing except to be given him from the Most High. And hey, when Esau's brought down, it's gonna do the same thing again. Because we can't forget the scripture says in Daniel that the Most High has given the kingdom to the bases of men. Now He's also given the bases of men a great sword pursuant to Revelation 6:4. So people fear this man. But when the Most High takes that blessing away, everyone's gonna start looking at this man for what he really is. And even in his own kingdom, people know who he's a weak man. Even his own woman knows he's a weak man. But what everyone just makes a joke about it and pretends like they don't know. But it's gonna become manifest when the Most High sends His Son to correct the wrongs that have been done upon this earth. It says so that verse 9 says so that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man, and whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away, and the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army. That man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven. Once again, this is that pride. We read about that pride in Ezekiel the 28th chapter. It says, and no man could endure to carry for his intolerable sink. He therefore, being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride. So he got humble. He got hella humbled. And to come to the knowledge of himself by the scourge of the Most High, his pain increasing every moment. And when he himself could not abide in it, so he got so fucked up that he couldn't even like stand his own smell. He said these words, and that's on purpose, because you know what? Hey, more time you can't actually smell yourself. For example, your breath might be stinking, you can't smell it. You might be you might have like a little bit of BO, right? And you may not be able to smell it like a natural body scent, that less so like your armpit sweat, because that's not all the time. You may not be used to the smell, right? But like, let's say you just stink. Right, you might not be able to smell it because you're used to that smell, but the Most High made it such that he could smell himself. Right, he said these words: "It is meet to be subject unto God." So now you want to get right. Then that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself as if he were God. Now, if this ain't the spirit of Esau, I don't know what is. Right, this is an Edomite, man. This is this wicked person, and hey, Trump is proud like that, man. Trump's a proud devil. Let's see what he does from all this. Like I said, I'll be surprised if he actually even has it. But hey, the news is the news. The king of Babylon is sick, and that says this wicked person vowed also unto the Lord, who now no more would have mercy upon him, saying thus, that the holy city to the which he was going in haste to lay it even with the ground, and to make it a common burying place, he would set at liberty. And as touching the Jews, whom he had judged not worthy so much as to be buried, but to be cast out with their children to be devoured. And so this is what this man thought was good to be doing to the Israelites, man. And you know what? Hey, maybe the Lord, for a little time, for a little season, has allowed, because that's ultimately what this is, a little season compared to eternity, has allowed these heathens to have power over us. You read that Ecclesiastes 10:7. I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. We're the prince. That's literally in our name, Israel, Yasha, he Prince Power. Walking as servants upon the earth, serving these heathen nations, serving this Edomite, serving these Elamites and these Moabites. But the Lord is coming to correct all that, to put Israel in their rightful place, man. And because this, at the end of the day, we're in this position because we were not pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. But the Lord, hey, look, man, we can't wait having these proud ass devils on top of us, but they ain't shit. They're just nothing but lies and base, man. It's verse 16. And the holy temple, which before he had spoiled, he would garnish with goodly gifts and restore all the holy vessels with many more, and out of his own revenue defray the charges belonging to the sacrifices. Yea, and that also he will become a Jew himself, and go through all the world that was inhabited and declare the power of God. But for all his pains wouldn't, for all this his pains would not cease. For the just judgment of the Most High was come upon him. That's like when America, when all these plagues and all these things start hitting America, man, hey, they might try to say, oh, we need to find God, we need to try to do this, but the writings on the wall, they ain't no repenting for America. America's gonna be judged. There ain't no daily prayer for America in the hope that America can be saved. No, America's gonna be judged. The writings in the scriptures, it is written. When we take America's destroyed already. It just needs to manifest in this realm. It says, therefore, despairing of his wealth, he wrote unto the Jews the letter underwritten. Right, and I say that because that statement. I say that because Isaiah 55 and 11, the Most High has spoken already that America will be destroyed. So guess what? America will be destroyed. There ain't nothing you can do about it. It says, therefore, despairing of his health, he wrote unto the Jews the letter underwritten, containing the form of supplication. Right? If I'm not mistaken, supplications basically, you're asking somebody, you're begging them, right? After this manner, Antiochus, king and governor to the good Jews. Now it's the good Jews, right? His citizens wisheth much joy, health, and prosperity. If ye and your children fare well, and your affairs be your contentment, I give very great thanks to the Most High, having my hope in heaven. As for me, I was weak, or else I would have remembered kindly your honor and goodwill returning out of Persia. And being taken with a grievous disease, I thought it necessary to care for the common safety of all, not distrusting mine health, but having great hope to escape this sickness. And you know what? If this man had been healed, guess what? He would have gone back to his great pride. Such is the way of man. You see that with these, when the first lockdown hit, a lot of people became humble. But guess what? When the lockdown started being lifted, everyone got back to their pride again. But considering that even my father, at what time he had led an army into higher countries, appointed successor, to that end, if anything fell out contrary to expectation, or if any tidings were brought that were grievous, they of the land, and knowing to whom the state was left, might not be troubled. Let me see, just might as well just finish it. So again, considering how the princes that are the borderers and neighbors unto my kingdom wait for opportunities and expect what shall be the event, I have appointed my son Antiochus king, whom I often committed and commended unto many of you when I went up into the higher provinces, to whom I have written as followeth. Therefore, I pray and request you to remember the benefits that I have done unto you generally. And this is the devil, reminds you of that scene in Django when what you call it, the slaves are unchained at the very beginning of the film, and then they basically get given the gun, and then the Edomite is on the floor. He was like, "Hey, look, man, hey, don't kill me. Remember when I gave you an apple or an orange? I forget what it was." Right, and that's this devil for you. Will give you a crumb and expect you to be grateful, despite all of the wickedness that he has done. That greatly surpasses that quote good deed that he's done. He's done great wickedness, but gave you an orange, so you should be thankful. It says sorry, and so he thinks you should be thankful to him, which nah. It says, and that every man will still be faithful to me and my son, for I'm persuaded that he, understanding my mind, will favorably and graciously yield you to your desires. Thus the murderer and blasphemer, having suffered most grievously, As he entreated other men, so died he a miserable death in a strange country in the mountains. And Philip, that was brought up with him, carried away his body, which also, throwing the son of Antiochus, went into Egypt to Ptolemaeus Philometor. Right? So, hey, that was a quick one, just an example of the Most High, just smiting these the kings of these heathen nations, man. Right? Like I said, do I think he actually has the Rona? I don't know. I don't think so. He might do. He might not. Is it gonna be part of the algorithm of these last days? Definitely. Right? We'll just have to see what happens. So as always, Lord's will, I was edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom.